Hey, ballin' at what cost? Ah. Yeah, you gotta let it go. That's the way we do it. Week 19, we have officially made it. And boy, do I have a lot of drama for you over what just happened. Because, look, I'm not trying to deep dive into society or whatnot, but it seems like there's just a little bit more cultural flavor when we're talking about the countries where it's a little bit more tropical, a little bit more jungle safari type of vibe. We get that in southern East Asia, we get that in Oceania, we get that everywhere in some capacity, but it's alive when we're talking about the southern part of the Americas. Because when we go to Miami and we go to Brazil, we feel alive. We can ball at what cost, in the warmth, in the sun, no matter what. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No matter what. No, the cost, it don't matter. The vitamin D, as long as you get that nice sunscreen on with the right, then you're good. You ain't gonna get sunburned. And then what happens? Even though it's a little hot, as long as you stay hydrated, stay focused, amazing things can happen. That's what happened first off in Miami, the most beautiful, warm, weather by the ocean and shit, And again, it was a weekend full of laps, full of lines, racing lines, powdered lines. And honestly, just and BBLs. Probably the most beautiful women. Everybody's at, what's her at type of women on they're paid for by these big corporations and whatnot. But it's cool. But yeah. And with that, these, rock star, guys who drive, their cars that cost a few hundred million, to build. They're pretty much like rocket ships on four wheels. They're totally driving close to 350 kilometers per hour. They're just checking out the baddies, checking out the baddies with the BBLs, dude, with the BBLs. Because let's just not kid ourselves. Miami, there's more curvaceous type of women in Miami. There's a lot of. Right, but that's a whole topic in general. But just saying, there's a lot of baddies there. We're not gonna deny that. So Daniel Ricciardo took this into account. Very handsome Australian man, but he looks like a Greek god, to be honest with you. Has been struggling since being back with now Visa, Cash App, Red Bull, and their car is not half bad. It's somewhere in the midfield. They do sometimes they don't. But Yuki Tsunoda's made more of the advantage in the team. And now guess what? Mr. Hollywood Daniel Ricciardo shows up in Miami. What's up? With that beautiful smile on his face in that sun. Oh, he's meant to shine in places like that. So sprint and the sprint quali before that put himself in the great position. Got a P4 for the sprint quali, maintain that P4, 5 points on the board. There you go, right on the dot of a quarter through the calendar season. I respect it. I don't know if I said it before, but if Daniel Ricciardo wasn't going to score points in this first half of this season, I was going to give up on the guy. All right, not to say that I was already I was leaning towards a little bit. But that's what I'm saying. He's got to be Hollywood, baby. That's what I'm saying. Miami, you score points. That's Hollywood, baby. That's Hollywood right there. You know what I'm saying? He blends right in. He fits right in. Come on, man. So, congrats to Daniel Ricciardo for the 5 point. And he was the He was the, the person that everyone put all their focus on, because that's what you got to do, man. He's a handsome bastard, and he kept us entertained the first half of the race weekend. Then the second half, this is when it gets a little bit spicy. So Ferrari do their thing a little bit. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's a Monday. If I'm not hydrated on a Monday, it's going to carry into the rest of the week. Gotta stay hydrated on a Monday. Big gulps. But anyways, and there's nice crispy water out the fridge. So can I complain? No, not really. Then Ferrari do their thing. Verstappen does his thing, kind of. Perez, not to try to be too, mean or nothing, but he was doing kind of what he usually kind of does, which is just struggle compared to Verstappen, and cars get in between while he's struggling. Okay, that's how it is. Let's just say that's just how it is. And McLaren are always just back there. That's just how it's kind of been. It's just Verstappen or Red Bulls, Perez maybe, Ferrari, Leclerc, and Sainz are fighting back. And then McLaren's there. And then they're just, every now and then, they get a little bit more put together. And then Ferrari or, Red Bull, they slip up a little bit more. But usually they're just down there. And after, my boy Lando, I'm going to start crying. Lando, you're so inspirational, man. So this guy, he goes to Amsterdam because it wasn't like a back-to-back. They had a week off before Miami. This guy flies to Amsterdam real quick for King's Day, which is this whole freaking party up in the Netherlands. He goes to Amsterdam, parties it up in those freaking little boats. Probably gets so freaking drunk that he knocks his head over something, right? Fricked his face up. His pretty cute little face up. He just, he got banged up and whatever. But that just proves he's a party animal. That proves that he's a party animal. And after he had fun with the European blondes, then he goes to Miami, where there's the Latino BBLs. They're walking all over. There's chicks like Chantel Jeffries, in the paddock and all this, just casually. And he's like, he's younger than me, dog. This is why I can talk like this about him, because he's just a straight savage. Okay, I have nothing but savagery to learn from him. Okay, that's the ultimate skill. So what does he do? He sees all this potential. He was in China too. He got a P2 in China, the last GP. And think about China probably had some exquisite clientele of, beautiful, Chinese women. So then now it's switch up and bam, bam, bam. What do you know? P1. After 110 race starts, so many seasons where he had chances, and he's been in the sport for quite a while now, always proven that he has talent, but just never just gone to that spot. But he does it now after all this time. Think about it. And it's kind of crazy too, because Ricardo, he was doing so well at the start of the Miami weekend, and Ricardo was the one who scored the last McLaren P1 back in Monza, and that's when Lando Norris had to give out the P2. He had to settle with the P2. So this is just all crazy. Lando Norris P1 for the first time in his career. many more to come if the McLaren's showing that pace. I know they're really good at like turns or shorter, like lower speed turns, which is amazing because if we look at the schedule now, we have Imola, which is might be just one of those Red Bull kind of Grand Prix, but you go to Monaco after that, and then Canada is pretty much also half and half street circuit. So there's still a lot of potential. This is what I'm saying, guys. After the weekend that we had, let's look at the Drivers' Championship. So right now, Max Verstappen, he's like over 30 points ahead of P2, which is Sergio Perez. But Sergio Perez is sitting at a 103 points, right? 103 points. Charles Leclerc right now, P3. So third in the Drivers' Championship with 98 points. So he's 5 points behind Sergio Perez. P4 right now after that big win, Lando Norris, 83 points, tied up with Carlos Sainz at 83 points in P4 and P5. And 83, so they're still 15 points behind Charles Leclerc and 20 points behind Sergio Perez. So Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz have a little bit to climb compared to the top three as of right now. But that's like, I don't think it's like any heart attack. Again, round 6 just finished up. That marks 1 quarter through the calendar season. We take a break now. There's still a lot of guys. I am not even kidding when I tell you this. Oscar Piastri could get a P1 this season. I'm not kidding. I still think Sainz could take another P1. I wouldn't be surprised if Lando could still take one more. If the McLaren's looking that good, I really believe that the McLaren might do some crazy upgrades. Like they might just get the tech right, the engineering, the mathematics, the little tweaks completely. Like there is so much excitement for me right now because I think I can envision it. The future is bright, ladies and gentlemen. It's Logan Sargent, thank you so much for giving Lando Norris the safety car. We haven't seen such a showcase of brotherhood and wingmanship since Latifi crashed just for Max Verstappen. This was the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. Logan Sargent just like real quick closed in on another car. Everybody spun out, safety car, bam, throw on the good tires, get the pace good. Lando Norris Masterclass. I called it last week. Thank you, Lando Norris, for proving me right. You're the best. We should collab. Give me a DM sometime too. You're the GOAT. Absolutely. Congratulations. And congratulations to McLaren too. They've been working hard to get that car up to pace with those top guys. So what a weekend in Miami. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. And it's hilarious because all the like even on the news and everything, like there's just, Zach Brown goes up to Lando Norris and like, hey, we're staying at extra night. Like you ain't going nowhere tonight. You ain't flying nowhere. Like we're staying extra. What do you think, Lando Norris, the multi-million worth early young 20-year-old, like just 22, 23-year-old in Miami after taking his first dub single? What do you think he's gonna do, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think he's gonna do? Oh my goodness, congratulations, Lando. Oh my God, you're the best. You're actually the best. And quadrant, all that, you're a pioneer in your own way. You're so smart. You're ahead of the game. He's ahead of the game, guys. He's ahead of the game when we talk about this younger generation. people are this age, he's ahead of the game, dude. There's few that's as smart as him who gets the big picture. I could tell you that Lando Norris ain't got no baby mama problems, bro. I could tell you that he ain't risking it at all. He's steered clear from that, bro. Anyways, let's go to the UFC, man. 301 just went down in Brazil, and what can I tell you? Brazilian takeover as usual. Almost a full Brazilian dominance for the whole night. Almost. There was 13 bouts, and because of course it's a numbered event, pay-per-view in Brazil, every single fight there was a Brazilian fighting against whoever. And out of the 13 fights, 10 of the fights the Brazilian won. So only 3 of the Brazilians lost out, but think about the freaking rate, like the percentage. Just absolutely brilliant. The fans were going crazy. Just talking about the main card, Caio Borralho. This guy is kind of dangerous for 185. And listen, the reason why I was a little bit sussed out about him was just because they put his height is not accurately listed on the website, because I saw some pictures of him like compared to other guys and like what they're listed. He is not that short. Like, he is pretty darn tall still for a 185er. Like, he's listed at like 5'9" or something. He looks like he's at least 6'1", okay? And then, but he's still super fast, super accurate, and then throw in the Brazil little spice, killer instinct. He round 2 KO'd Paul Craig, was able to keep the distance, so Paul Craig wasn't able to start grappling with him. And accurate, dangerous, ranked, probably going to climb the rankings even further after that performance. And he looks like a fun fighter to just match up anyone against in the top 10 of the 185. So congratulations to Caio Borralho. Next up, Michel Pereira. Capoeira, a little capoeira. And then bada bing, bada boom, he does a backflip onto the guy, just backflip real quick, and then goes into submit him. That's just how it's done when you know how to capoeira and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You can just do a little backflip onto another human being and then just lock him up. Bam. Submission. Round 1 win for Michel Pereira. Let's go. Just as simple as that. If someone put him against like tougher competition, Michel Pereira looks, first of all, massive at 185, but just feels like he's pretty unstoppable for the way he fights. It's just how you're gonna defend from a backflip. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even kidding. Anthony Smith, the veteran, teaches the 26-year-old a lesson. A simple lesson that, dude, don't give me that neck. Don't expose your neck to me like that, because it's ghillie season. It's ghillie season after that. Ghillie season. Let me lock it in on the neck. Just like it's right here. Right there. Ghillies, dude. The ghillie's always there, dude. I don't know what to say. And that's what Anthony Smith taught Vitor Petrino, who probably a very dangerous Brazilian UFC fighter that has a lot of potential, but the ghillie. So Anthony Smith, round 1, submission win. Easy ghillie win. And the only fighter in the main card that won that wasn't a Brazilian. So next up was another. So we got 2 back-to-back main card veteran performances. Jose Aldo goes against Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan Martinez, people would argue that he has a very similar fighting style to Jose Aldo, just mixed up with a little bit more of like Mexican style of boxing with the hands, but a lot of kicks and younger. And so Jose Aldo comes out of a retirement, makes the way for 135 like it's nothing, and puts on a masterclass win over Jonathan Martinez. Jose Aldo back again. If he has one more very, very impressive performance against like a real contender within the top 10 that's quite dangerous or something, I think he could get a title shot. Who knows? It's Jose Aldo at the end of the day. Everybody loves him. Everybody wants to see him at the end of the day fight for the gold again. All right, so we go on to the main event. Alexandre Pantoja defends his belt after a 5-round grueling grappling / pounding freaking / striking, let's just say striking championship 5-round, man. Those ones are tough. And guys, Usyk did not get beaten up or like didn't get like fucked up, as in, because at the end of the day, Alexander Pantoja has the capabilities and the weapons to just put you out. But Usyk survived. It was very high level, so Usyk proved he has the knowledge, the skills, and the capabilities of like the higher level competition in the flyweight division at 125. However, Pantoja proven to everyone that he's now the 125 king, and it's going to take a true, serious, dangerous opponent to try to take him off the belt. All right. But Usyk, shout out to my boy Steve. Thanks, Steve. Really appreciate the performance, and it's alright. Gave it my best shot, and I guess I'll just have to go back and hit gym and make some more improvements, and I'll be ready to fight again probably, in towards the end of summer. Yeah, give me a fight and I'll be ready. Alright, so my shout out is Kai Kara France. He wants to fight the Cape guy, but if that guy turns it down, maybe Aussie versus Kiwi fight down in Oceania. If they do a card in, they've done a card in Auckland, right? But I feel like they've done the bigger ones in Melbourne, right? So, bam. Or is it Sydney? I forget. So, do it there. Kai Kara France, Steve Usyk. Hey, I like that fight. I like that matchup for 125. But let's move on to the biggest sports that is going down right now. Ladies and gentlemen, last night I was watching Game 7, Cleveland Cavaliers versus Orlando Magic. Cleveland Cavaliers down more than 15 points at some point before halftime, I think. Made the comeback. Donovan Mitchell, Spida, clutches, scores. How many points? Shit ton of points. Clutches it for the Cavaliers. Now officially set. Every single matchup is set for the NBA playoffs round 2, which is the semifinals. And what can I say? In the East, we now have Cavaliers versus the Celtics. Now, let's talk about this matchup. From what I've seen from the games, now this is where I do my research. I watch closely every single team play in the round one. Okay, I watched the game there. All right, I can't watch every game. They're too late unless if I become a vampire. All right, and Celtics, they're very impressive. Yes, they are. They got the game pretty locked down, but Cavaliers have a pretty darn good defense. All right, they have a lot of chances to disrupt the hell out of the Celtics when it comes to the Celtics offense. And, you know, the whole thing about the East is it's sketchy out there. Nothing's really, like, you don't really know what's going to happen. And it's like there might be slight doubts in parts of each team's game. Seriously, I think that's how everyone would feel a little bit about the East in terms of the playoffs. So Celtics versus Cavaliers, I could see this go to Game 7. I could see this go to Game 7, guys. As simple as that. I can see this go to Game 7. At least, I think Game 6. At least Game 6. I don't see a Game 5 type of deal. Game 6 at least. I think both teams have the capabilities to win games against each other and go a little bit back and forth. And wishing them both the best of luck. I know if it was the Celtics, yeah. If I had to say someone, of course, I kind of think I have to go with the Celtics. But I would also have to say that it would be much more entertaining and more interesting if it wasn't the Celtics. Like, it just throw a complete curveball to like the whole championship kind of outlook. So let's see what happens. Anyways, I'm rooting for, it's not that I don't like the Celtics, but it's just Jason Tatum. He really deserves it. And all the other guys, I feel like at the end of the day, they really need to clutch up and help the boy out to get a ring or something. And Jason Tatum's got to really clutch pop off as well. Otherwise, it's just like it was never meant to happen or something like that. Same Cavaliers, they've been building this new team and now they're finally clicking. So it's a little bit different. They got Strus last season. Donovan Mitchell was like a couple seasons ago. So they've built their own team from past the LeBron era, right? Let's move on to the next one that is in the East, which is the Pacers versus the Knicks. So Pacers actually upset the Milwaukee Bucks. Even though they got Dame time, Milwaukee Bucks, they couldn't hang. I guess they simply couldn't hang against the Pacers. And Indiana, they have a pretty fun team right now. They're playing pretty darn well. And it's a really good team basketball. Knicks, on the other hand, they have the grit, they have the grittiness, and they have Jalen Brunson. The only way that the Knicks are going to be able to win in the Game 6, right, or like still be able to like Game 5, like oppose a Game 5, and then, or worst case scenario, you just win the Game 7. I think the only way you got to do that is fucking get the bench and everyone else playing more. Because I feel like the danger with Pacers is they play more of a team game. And Jalen Brunson, sometimes you dishing it out to him too much, and then it's just going to be a little too messy. And but otherwise, how can I not root for the Knicks? I really want the Knicks to win. The Knicks are so lit. The fans are lit. That's the energy I like. It's been building on for a long time, and they always bring that energy. Okay, they've been bringing that energy. So if I were to predict the Eastern Conference Finals, then I would have to say Knicks versus Celtics, bro. Knicks versus Celtics. Yeah, I'm calling it. Knicks versus Celtics, and I could see Celtics Cavs go game 7. I could see Pacers Knicks go game 7, but that's how I'm seeing it right now from the East. If we go over to the West now, this is like completely different. Best in the West. Who it's the best are in the West. You're talking about Thunder, OKC, Chet Holmgren, SGA, all those guys. They're just living it up. Young core, but they've been building and they play great freaking basketball. And then you have the Mavs, Kyrie Irving balling out with Luka Doncic, right? They're trying to finally win one, right? They feel like they really deserve it. Luka has been putting in so much work for so many seasons ever since he came in the NBA pretty much. Okay. Honestly, I'm not going to even dive too deep. Next matchup, Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards changed that whole franchise. I'm sorry. Because before Anthony Edwards, I don't know what was going on in the Timberwolves. Because, the only reason why I cared about Timberwolves is because when Jimmy was there, they got lit with Cat. And then they was lit for a little bit. But then as soon as Anthony Edwards came in, it's been just, again, very similar to the Mavericks with Luka Doncic. It's just slow, steady rise. They came in the league with a lot of potential. They made a name for themselves. They stuck to being themselves. They put in the work, and every season it just keeps on going upwards, and it just keeps on getting better. So that's where the Timberwolves are right now with Rudy Gobert. Those guys have a little bit of size. They have quite a good amount of size. And at the same time, you got Anthony Edwards, who is now compared to the closest thing since MJ, since Kobe, since the GOATs. All right, that competitive, fuck you-ness of just, I'm better, fuck you. I'm just better. And then you go to the other side where Nuggets, where you just have this sociopathic 1,000 IQ Serbian dude or whatever. Yeah, right. Jokic just loves horses, and he's all he does is just he has constant radar over the basketball court. He just knows where everything is, and he just knows the exact physics of the game, so he could just do whatever, and it doesn't even make physical sense. That's just Jokic, and then they have Jamal Murray, who's I honestly think he's how do I even say this, man? He's up there with he plays as aggressive as Spida and shit. So he's all the way up there with the elite athletic level and competitive level too. And they play hand in hand with Jokic, and they are champions. So they still have pretty much this game that is effective. I'm going to say this just for entertainment's sake. I'm going to say both of these could go to Game 7 as well. But the way I would want to see it is because Luka Doncic is, in my opinion, also one of the our generation new GOATs. I'm going to say Mavs Game 7 against the Thunder. They win it out, and then I don't want to doubt the Denver Nuggets, but Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, show me what's up, man. Show me what's up. MJ, new MJ, show me what's up, man. Show me what's up. Win the whole thing, bro. Show me what's up. All right. So that's the Western Conference Finals that I'm predicting. Mavs versus Timberwolves. Ladies and gentlemen, NBA playoffs throughout the week. We're taking a break from F1. Derek Lewis fighting this weekend. So shout out Black Beast MMA. He's the GOAT. He's okay. and he's going to be taking a dub main event in St. Louis, and so is Joaquin Buckley. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Tom Brady for taking it up the chin, or both chins. He's got a lot of chins anyways. In the roast, it was a great thing by Netflix. I personally think comedy is real back. That's amazing. Hey, I'll be talking about drinking K-Dot later this week. It's been a hell of a ride. I'll see you guys next week. Ballin' at what cost? Catch you guys.